Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mr. Arsenal podcast. Tonight, we're doing something a bit different. We're basically going to go through the league table, all of us, and give our predictions of where we think certain teams are going to finish and reasons why this, that, and the other. We've got it from bottom to top. And obviously, as you can see, I've got a panel with me to give their predictions as well. We're going to start with Harvey. One-legged Harvey, shall we say. How you doing? Apart from the obvious pain that you've been in for the last 24 hours, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I did get turned down today. Sadly, waddled all the way to Sports Direct. Got told that there's one letter E that's missing, so I can't get the Donny van der Beek on the back of the shirt, so I had to waddle all the way back home.
Bloody hell.
Oh, no.
I've had a quite hard day, to be honest.
Should have gone for Maguire instead.
I was thinking about it.
Oh, dear. Sam, I don't know, one of the channel faces, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How you doing? Thanks for having me on again. Yep, nice to see some new faces on here tonight as well. It's always good. Yeah. So, hope everyone's well.
Even if they are Liverpool fans, of course.
Yeah, we accept everything but spuds, really, don't we?
Yeah, basically. That's being polite. I've got to be careful what I say. I've got to be careful what I say. Might upset someone. But obviously, Reece, new to the channel. Obviously, we know each other from the Facebook page that we both admins on. Football Fan Zone. But how are you doing anyway?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Bit weird, I'm not going to lie. I'm not used to being on a live thing. So, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'd be fine. So, we're going to start with the bottom. Give our bottom three. I'm going to go around you. I'll go last. We'll start with you, Harvey. Who are your predicted bottom three for next season?
My predicted bottom three is Aston Villa, Fulham, and West Brom.
Okay. Any reason behind that, or?
I just don't think in the transfer market in this year, I don't think they've been very active. And to be honest, they haven't got any big name signings in. West Brom look like they're about to go straight back down. I can definitely see that. Aston Villa got through on the skin of the teeth, so I see them going down. And Fulham they're Fulham. There's no hope for Fulham.
Okay. Reece, we'll go with you. What are your bottom three for the season?
I agree with West Brom. I think Newcastle, and I reckon I'm gonna have to go with Fulham as well. But okay. I see Newcastle. I don't know why they always seem like they quite dodgy for me in the season. Like they start off quite slow and then they finish quite slow for me. But they've also got that problem with their boardman. So, one of those.
Okay. What about yourself, Sam? What are your bottom three?
Yeah, for me, it's quite difficult, really, because there's a few candidates there. You know, when you look at the end of last season and you look at what's coming in this season, you know, it's not easy, but I'm going to have to go for, I think, based on looking at Villa, I mean, they weren't very good at the end of last season. I think they'll probably be there, one of the relegation spots. I'm also thinking, possibly Fulham if they don't really figure it out. I don't think they're going to make it, and the last spot, I think it could also be West Brom. I think they're probably going to struggle as well, to be honest. I think Leeds coming up, I think they'll be okay. I think so. I basically think it's going to be Fulham and West Brom straight back down, and they'll probably most likely be accompanied by Aston Villa, I think.
Okay. Well, I've gone for in 20th. I've gone for Brighton, Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace.
Oh, interesting.
I think as you said, Sam, there's a lot of teams in the mix. I think Brighton.
Yeah.
I think they scraped it again. They due to the result against us and a few other results that went their way in the end. They just survived. They haven't really strengthened from what I can see in the transfer market to what they need. Vida, again, enough said on that. They're not. They survived by a dodgy goal that should have been given, that wasn't given, that would have sent them down.
Yeah.
And again, they haven't really gone in the market and improved their squad.
The only thing is, I see Brighton out of the teams. I see Brighton have strengthened their squad a little bit with Lallana and Dendonka.
Ben White's also signed a deal with him for 5 years.
Yeah.
So they've got Ben White back now, and that's Leeds losing a player, so that could drop Leeds down a little bit down. In the
And Leeds have just got Rodrigo as well. So Leeds have just got Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he only got 4 goals last season in the Spanish league, so it might not be a good sign. Never know.
But like you say, Ryan, like I said, it was difficult to choose the 3 because, as you point out, I think there's like 6 or 7 teams there really that could struggle, and sort of battle it out for the bottom 3, to be honest.
Yeah. And the reason I went for Palace is because a company got a player in the books that doesn't want to be there, Zaha.
Yeah.
And their replacement for him is a player from the Championship for 20 mil. And it's, again, there's an aging squad as well. And it's just, again, they just seem to every year just get by. And I think this is really the year they might just step up. If they go for a whole season of Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, because they've got in Eze or whatever from QPR. I mean, he's a big prospect, isn't he?
Yeah. But again, he's a prospect, but he has got no experience of Premier League level side.
Nah.
And there's a lot of pressure put on him. And there's a lot of pressure to be put on him then to be the replacement for Wilfred in the long term as well. Because we're all assuming Wilfred won't be there by the time the window closes as well.
It'd be interesting to see where he ends up, really.
I don't think he'll leave. I think it's one of them things. It's like Messi all over again. He threatens to leave and he won't. Like last season, I didn't think he was going to leave. He didn't leave.
Well, it doesn't seem to be many people knocking down his door, does there? After his season he had, it was quite mediocre, wasn't it? So
it's the same thing with Pogba as well. And when he's about to leave, and it doesn't seem like it.
The next 3 positions we're going to go for are 17th, 16th, and 15th. We'll start with you, Reece, for that one.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I'm going to place 17th, Aston Villa. Again, like I said, they had such an awful ending, and I just don't see them progressing any further up in the league. I'm going to go with Brighton 16th as well. Obviously they got the Ben White as well on the new deal, and he'll be partnered up with Lewis Dunk. So I think that'd be quite strong. Centre back to me. I think Lewis Dunk isn't a bad player. I'm pretty sure some of the big teams wanted him a few seasons ago. And then I go Burnley for the 15th place. I fancy Burnley to probably survive. They do have quite a good team, and I think their mentalities are more than the other teams below them.
Sam, what about yourself?
I'm thinking 17th. I'm thinking Crystal Palace, just scraping it, and I think 16 Brighton, and I'm thinking 15 Newcastle. We were saying, I don't think Newcastle are going to be great this season.
Yes, and Harvey.
I've gone 17th Palace, 16th Brighton, and 15th West Ham.
Okay, well I've gone right. I've got 17th. Got my 17th now. Right, I've got 17th Fulham. I think they might just, by the skin of their teeth, survive. By the skin of their teeth, by a point. Same with West Ham, 16th and 15th West Brom. I think because it's how close it's going to be, I think it'll be 2 points between them positions, and they've been relegated, and possibly goal difference as well. I think the one of West Ham one though, I think they could. It's a hard one because they're not really improving. And what's Anderson's agent trying to get him out of there as well. And I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird. And I'm saying currently 16th, but that could, by Christmas, that could be literally at the window myself, in the sense of they could be literally fighting for their lives already by then.
Mm.
Just because it's just that sort of club. They love being up and down, a yo-yo club. And it's David Moyes, and the owners don't not inspiring either. You look at the signings they're making, or lack of. 14th, 13th, and 12th. We're going to go with next. For me, I'm going to go first on this one. I think Newcastle will get 14th, Southampton 13th, and Burnley will come 12th. But you're after the other night. It's just, I think they'll just do enough to just be around that mid-table mediocrity, sort of be a few points clear of relegation, but nothing special really. Again, with Newcastle, that could, depending on what happens with the ownership there, that could even drop lower. But as it stands, I think they'll just do enough with the players they've got. Sam, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be, so 14th then is going to be, I'm thinking that's going to be West Ham. And then 13th, I'm thinking Burnley. And then 12th, it's tough now. We're getting to a tough now where a lot of teams are close to each other. But I'm thinking, to be honest, I'm thinking Southampton. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking Southampton down there at 12th.
Just before we move on, we've got a question asking, guys, is Arsenal a bigger club than Chelsea? Is that a rhetorical question? Here. After all, based on actual history, and that's not more than 25 to 15, 16 years they've been glorified, we are the bigger club. We've still won more league titles than them. We've still won more FA Cups. And in general, it's just more silverware in general. Even if we've had their Champions League to the equation, we've still won more than them. So technically, we are still the bigger club in London. So, Vise, what about yourself?
So I've got, for 14th, I've got Palace. I think they might lose Zaha, if I'm honest. And he's been quite injury prone from what I've seen. I've got Southampton 13th, and then I've got West Ham on 12th. It's really hard to place them all because from that position from 14th to 7th, it's so hard to. It's going to be so hard to put all their teams in.
Yeah, definitely. And Harvey, what about yourself?
I went exactly the same as you. I went with Newcastle 14th, 13th Southampton, and 12th Burnley. Exactly the same. I just think that they're the mid-table teams, though. That's where they always are.
Yeah, we're going to go for two positions in the next one. We're going to go for 11th and 10th, and then as we move up the table, make it a bit easier. For me, I've gone for Leeds in their 11th and Sheffield United at 10th. I think Sheffield might drop off a bit. They might drop off a lot, but I think they'll drop off just a bit. But they'll still be in the top 10 themselves. Leeds first season back after 16 years. I think with Bielsa at the helm, possibly that could be the shock of them being 11th. Anything higher would be a fantastic season, but I can't see them being anything higher after 16 years out of the Premier League. They're not exactly. Yes, they bought the guy from Valencia, but they're not exactly getting more Premier League proven players in. For me, so I think the 11th was just for a first season as well. That's not a bad thing. Harvey, you're smiling, so I'll go to you.
Well, I went for the same, but just the opposite numbers. I went with 11th for Sheffield. I think it's going to hit second season syndrome for them. And Leeds are going to have a good season and get 10th place. Because they might have not got the Premier League proven players, but Bielsa's a good manager and he'll know what to do with them players.
And I'm confident that he's going to do well in the Premier League for the first season. I'm not sure about the second, though.
Okay. And Reece, what about you? 11th and 10th.
I actually went the same. I went Leeds and then Sheffield United.
Oh,
It's hard. I think Sheffield will finish 10th, but they had such a strong start when everyone doubted them last season. So they were quite a favourite for Europa League at one point as well. So you got to rate them for especially the season before. So that's why I placed in 10th.
Okay. Sam, what about yourself?
I got the same. I've got Leeds United and Sheffield United 11th and 10th. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Leeds will be about that level this season.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to manage to. I mean, over the course of 38 games, I don't think they're going to manage to do much better. I mean, they might have a spike at the beginning or something like that.
That bounce.
That bounce you get from getting into the Premier League and everyone's all psyched and ready to go, and you got Bielsa and you got a few new players and all that. But I think they'll come more down to earth. Towards the back end of the season after Christmas. But they're still a good enough team with Bielsa, to do quite well. And so that's why I'm putting them down on 11th, and then 10th for me then is going to be, as I said, that's going to be Sheffield United, because I think that's going to be looking at all the other clubs further up there, and from there I think that's just about their level. I mean, I think they had a very, very good season last season. Tactically, things worked really well for them. Those players worked really well together, but we'll have to see if it works again. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if Wilder and those players can continue doing that. That's for me. I think that's going to be a bit more of a struggle. So, yeah, about 10th, I reckon.
Yeah. Next, I think we'll go for, again. The next round we do 9th and 8th in the league, and then we'll go back to the normal format for the European spots. We'll start with Reece first for this one, 9th and 8th.
I've gone Everton and Leicester. I find it really hard to place everyone now, because from 9th to probably about 4th, it's really hard because they're quite close together. Necessarily not Everton. Everton probably be quite far off, but I think he's building quite a strong team. He's especially with Hammers coming in. So if that's true or not, but. It'll be quite interesting to watch. But I've got Leicester. I don't know. I don't think they have such a strong season as they did before, if I'm honest.
Okay. Sam, what about yourself?
I got Everton and Leicester. So Reece and I will obviously be copying each other. So no, listen again. I think Everton, even though they're strengthening their squad, they've got Ancelotti. It's just that they've just got too many. I don't know, that the level of their squad is not quite good enough to be punching up to like the Europa League spot and above. It's just not quite there. Even though they're better than last season, maybe I would say, and they're definitely still a decent team, of course, with Ancelotti and the likes of Rodriguez now, and if if they're all confirmed, then yeah, I mean they're definitely improvements, aren't they? But I just can't see them getting higher than that, because the other teams who are still left on the list are, on the table are better, and they're going to perform better, I think.
Yeah, Harvey, what about yourself?
I've put Leicester and Wolves this season. I think Wolves are going to have a bit of a downfall.
Okay. There's one consistent between the four of us. We all think Leicester will be 8th or 9th. I've gone for that lot down the road between the Scum to be 9th and Leicester to be 8th. I think with that lot down the road, I think it's more if Mourinho does a whole season there, because we've seen already he had that little bounce a few games early on in the last season when he came in. But from that, the performances went down. the results weren't there. We're seeing certain mannerisms from Mourinho that we were seeing in the later stages at United the last few months there. He's isolating certain players. Again, another norm for him. And they're not exactly buying inspiring signings. Joe Hart. I know it's a free, but Joe Hart. What was the point of that? Just to fill your quota?
He's a good goalie.
They've signed one when they've got like Lloris and all that. I mean, come on. I know Lloris is a drunken mess, but that's another issue.
They got Doherty.
Yeah, I was about to say they got Doherty.
They got Hobart from Southampton, another great name in the Premier League.
I mean, in terms of Doherty, we've just sent him in as a secret agent just to fuck things up a bit more. I mean, I was watching another channel earlier, I think, and he was saying there's like, including Doherty, they've got like 5 players in the starting 11, possibly, that have got connections to Arsenal, as the photos of them being Arsenal fans, this, that, and the other. One of them being their captain, Harry Kane. That's another matter. So yeah, we're just occasionally dropping in little trinkets here and there, little agents like, you go and fuck things up here, you go there, yeah. and their response is, let's do a video to delete that tweet. Like, that's going to make a difference. He's still an Arsenal fan. We all know it. He knows where his bread lies at the end of the day. And Leicester, with me for Leicester of 8, I think they're going to have a massive drop-off compared to last season. I mean, they started off the season, as we all know, fantastically, and then literally from the January onwards, they just fell apart, and it continued into the new not new season, but the restart of the season, and they've lost Ben Chilwell to a supposed rival in Chelsea, and again, they're not making inspiring signings for me that convinces me that they'll push on for next season and actually go one step further to get back, to make sure they can cement the Champions League spot for next season. And it's just they've got Hernandez. I know they're just not inspiring at all. And the fact that the manner of their drop off concerns me. And I'm a neutral, so what the hell it's doing to the Leicester fans, I don't know. This is where we're going to go for the Europa League spots now. We're going to go for all them all 7th, 6th, and 5th spots. We're going to start with Sam for this one.
So 7th, 6th, and 5th for me. So I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7th and 6th. So I've got Wolves at 7th. Mm-hmm. Again, I think that's just going to be their level. I don't think they're going to be able to get any higher this season. They've got a decent team. They've got some decent players, but I think you look at the other teams around and they're just not going to get higher than that. Then I got the Scum at 6th, basically because I think that's going to be their level. I mean, it's yes, they could fall lower if they have a complete meltdown, if Mourinho goes and everything collapses and players are, unhappy and you got that dressing room completely in a mess, then they could definitely fall further down than that. But I could see Tottenham still having a decent season. Even if Mourinho goes, they'll bring in someone decent as a manager. They're not going to bring in Levy's not going to bring in some mug. For all the faults Levy has, he's not going to bring in some mug, and they'll probably do decent, but they're not going to get better than that because I don't think their team is better than that. To be honest, I just really don't. So Wolves and Tottenham for me there.
And 5th.
Oh, there's one more. Yeah, fifth for me. That's going to be Manchester United. Sorry, Harvey. Manchester United 5th.
Oh wait,
because Van der Beek's not going to save your ass. He's not going to. Compared to the other teams, he's not going to do it for you.
Gabriel ain't going to make much of a difference in the defence of Arsenal. But that's all I'm going to say.
The thing is, we've signed more than just Gabriel and you now. We've got Gabriel, we've got Saliba, we've got unity in our team. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. A retirement home of Willian.
Who's still good?
I'll
take him.
Yeah, and
All
it's
right,
easy.
I'm just saying he's going to be absolutely shit this season. And I'm
Really?
going to laugh.
Well, we've got a recording of this, so when he starts doing well, you know what we're going to do, don't you?
When he's getting like
I know.
15 assists, 10, 15 goals by January, we'll see who's laughing, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be laughing because you know what? Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek will have at least 25 penalties by December, all together in every single thing.
Most of them,
Bruno Fernandes and
Most, yeah.
they'll have about 50 penalties, won't they?
yeah, most of them are coming from Fernandes. Diving off. The next one, we've had him dive on a player's ankle and falling down. This time it'll be studding someone in the chest and falling down.
It'll be like synchronised diving, won't it? It'll be like an Olympic, it'll be in the Summer Olympics, won't they, in Beijing?
Yeah.
When the season's finished, they're going to go straight to Beijing for the Summer Olympics and do synchronised diving, aren't they?
And he's partnering up with Tom Daly.
Yeah.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat right now.
Yeah,
What about it?
Yeah.
They know.
They know over Chelsea.
Yeah, Brownie's the voice of reason. All the shit coming out of his mouth all the time. Yeah, fucking hell, he knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? Not
Thomas Partey. Oh dear. V, so what about yourself? Who are your teams for 7th, 6th, and 5th?
Well, I've gone Wolves for 7th because that's like Sam said. I think that's their level. You know, they just don't strike me as someone that's going to challenge like who I've got for 6th and 5th. You know, I've got for 6th and 5th. I've got for Spurs, and then I've got Arsenal. I think the top 4. It looks complete, and I just don't see any of those teams breaking into the top 4, getting Champions League. I don't think with the Spurs, if they do lose Mourinho, I can't see who they're bringing. There's no really good managers that are unemployed at the moment, and they won't bring in Pochettino back in because they recently sacked him. So I don't think they'll get Champions League.
Nah.
Do
No.
you think they'd go for Allegri or something like that? Because he's available.
Possibly.
I reckon they'd go for someone like Brendan Rodgers or something like that.
Yeah.
Would he leave Leicester though? Would he leave Leicester?
Don't know. If it depends where Leicester are, doesn't it, and all that and everything. But yeah. No, there's some good international managers still as well out there, you know, around and about. So.
Okay. Yeah. As long as they avoid Southgate, they're fine.
Yeah, I've got Arsenal as 5th. I think Arteta's going to build a strong team, but I just don't think it'll be this season. Maybe next season. But he is building a force, so we'll be watching out for him in the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Harvey, what's your 7th, 6th, and 5th? I wonder where we're going to finish in your predictions.
Right, well, Arsenal are 7th, Everton 6th, and Tottenham 5th. That's because Everton have got a better defence than you and a better midfield and a better attack.
So what? Excuse me?
A better midfield, a better defence, and a better attack.
A better attack?
Yeah.
How is Everton's attack better than Arsenal's? Can you please explain that?
I was about to say that
because you've got Richarlison is an absolute beast.
Who's better than who? How's he better than who? And how do you explain that?
Oh God!
He's better than Aubameyang because he just looks like he's been in
How
wars.
Is he better than Aubameyang?
He's got that haircut there. It looks like he's been in the wars.
So he's got a haircut. So okay, right, it's the haircut then. Okay, yep, okay. So now we know you're talking shit then. So that's okay.
No, and I've tried Aubameyang and Aubameyang's.
Oh, you tried him on FIFA. Oh, here we go. It's the FIFA, isn't it? Of course. Yeah, that's what it is.
Aubameyang's good on FIFA.
Oh God! Right,
he's gonna have a drop this season.
The guy literally since Aubameyang has been here for 2.5 years, scored over 70 odd goals in all competitions, and for his 2 full seasons here, He scored 22 goals in both seasons in the league alone.
But Richarlison's done what?
I'm just going to say this one name. El Arabi. El Arabi. Done. Bang.
Oh, God.
Was that your series 7 to 5th? That's your series
Yeah.
7 to 6? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Fair enough.
Okay. Before we move on to my ones, Aubameyang, Tyrone says Aubameyang is better than every Man United attacker.
Pretty much, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Oh, he's back on the glue, yeah. It's either that or the painkillers. It's all that. There's some heavy painkillers at the moment.
I am.
Oh, yeah, he is. Trust.
I am.
Oh, dear. If you know, you know. But, yeah, for me, right, I've got both from this end, all over the place. I've got Everton in 7th. Just because the potential of the midfield they're going to have is Doucouré, James Rodriguez, and Allen. That's going to improve the midfield. But you're saying defence? How have they got a better defence than Story? Even taking it as a side, oh my days! He's a left back who's in injury prone, left, right, and centre. And look at the goalkeeper. And I include goalkeepers in defence as well because they're the last man of defence. Jordan Pickford is better than what we've got. Are you sure you don't want to reevaluate your suggestions?
Fine, I'll move Arsenal 6th, Everton 7th.
Okay. First like an outpours, let's be honest. What more was I expecting from a Man United fan?
But the thing is, it's 5th and 6th, Arsenal and Tottenham. I think that's going to be really close. So I'm not too sure who's going to get the 5th place out of them two. If I'm honest, I'm not really sure.
For me, 6th for me is going to be Wolves. I think I put them 6th, but I think it'll be between them, obviously them and Everton for them spots, individual spots, 7th and 6th. I think it'd be like a point or something, or goal difference, something ridiculous in it. And as we speak, Chelsea have signed Kai Havertz on a 4-year deal.
Jeez.
We were just waiting for that, weren't we? We were just waiting for that, weren't we?
Sky Sport. I won't say it because it comes through my phone and keep everyone because it's a neutral thing tonight. I'll keep everyone updated. Oh, here we go. Tyrone. Richarlison, 190 senior appearances, 54 goals. And that's how he leaves it.
Yeah. It's not great.
It was a joke. I've had a bang on the head.
You've got to remember his haircut though. He's got a good haircut.
For me, 5th is to go to United. I think I'll say that. I think it's between them and Chelsea for 5th and 4th. But I think 5th, United will miss out because Chelsea will just get over the line by the skin of their fucking teeth as well. I think it all comes down to with Chelsea getting 4th now. If they go and get a goalkeeper in, if they can get a better goalkeeper than what they've got, they'll be fine. They'll get 4th. They'll hold on to it. If they don't, I think I can see them finishing 5th. But as it stands, I'm going to go for Man United 5th. And now for the interesting part, guys. Our top 4. Who's going to come? Who's getting the full third spots? Who's going to be runner-up and the league champion for the 2021 season? We're going to do it differently this time. We're going to go from top first to 4th here. Make it a bit more interesting.
First to 4th.
First to 4th. Considering we've got a Liverpool fan and Man United fan, so this will be interesting anyway. Considering what the Man United fan says, because he can't win whatever he says, he can't win. and in this case, me and Sam for top 2 are neutrals here at the moment. So yeah, I think we'll get Harvey out of the way first. So who's your first, second, third, and 4th?
Well, first for me is obviously going to have to be Manchester City. Second, Liverpool. Third, Chelsea. And 4th, Manchester United. I don't see Tottenham getting anywhere near. Getting very close to us. I think it'd be the gap would be that small.
As I touched
We
on
leave
earlier,
it late.
With Tottenham, they've got the Mourinho factor there. He's upsetting the apple cart already. They're not exactly signing. Yeah, Pocket he's an experienced player, but as he said, we've just sent him in as an undercover agent to back things up on the right side of defence there. They've got again Owen Byron and Joe Hart, who's going to be like.
What have they done with Aurier? Are they sold Aurier, or what's happened to him?
Oh, they're trying to, but there's not going to happen, is it?
That's a shame. I mean, he was a brilliant player in. Was it Lyon? He was.
Yeah, PSG.
He was brilliant back then. And PSG. I remember seeing him games in the Champions League. He was really good.
I love.
He just hasn't done it he just hasn't done it though, has he, for Tottenham?
I love Vince's enthusiasm here. You've got Arsenal first, let's City
Wolves,
second, Liverpool,
wow, Wolves,
and Wolves coming fourth.
Wow! I tell you what. I mean, you look at that four there. For me, the biggest surprise there is not where Arsenal is, but where Wolves is.
And they say I'm sniffing glue.
Right. There's nothing wrong with optimism ahead of delusional.
I could have said I was first. I could have said United were going to be first this season, but that's just.
I think I think we've got more reason to be optimistic though, considering the form we're sort of hitting at the moment. But yeah, I love the optimism, Richard. I love it. Tyrone as well. Before we move on, says in the chat, no, Ainsley, Gabriel, Saliba, Marley, Tierney. How is Everton's defence better than Arsenal's defence? They're not happy with you, Harvey. They're not happy.
It was a joke. I've had a head injury. I don't know what I'm on about.
Richard's come back saying in no particular order, but he's top four. So possibly Wolves could win the league in that top, being a part of his top four.
I reckon Wolves could do it. Remember, Leicester did it, so.
You're saying that, but when I said this, you thought he meant like in the order it was written at Arsenal first. You went mental.
Oh, no way, no way, no way. Even if I said Wolves could win the league, there's no way Arsenal will ever win the league in the next 5 years. They'd get close if they get the right signings. They get very close, but I don't think they'll get it. They need to get. They need to build, and Arteta. If they're going to stick with Arteta, they need to stick by him and build around Aubameyang as well. But how old's he now? 30, nearly. So he ain't got long left.
Oh, also, Lundbergkamp in the chat saying, if we buy Partey, it's by the way, Brandon, if you're still in the chat, if we buy Partey, we could get top four. I think that's from what we've done so far. I think that's the one piece we need. One piece of the jigsaw. If we could sort that this summer, that'd be fantastic. And as you said, Lundbergkamp, that could be the difference between getting third, fourth, whatever, and not being in top four at all. Richard also says about our defence. He said our defence is untried though as well, so no one knows what our defence is capable of as well, and vice versa. Obviously, Moz Javid is confirming what I've already said about Havertz as a sign for Chelsea in a 5-year contract. Brown is asking where Cardiff are finishing. Relegation.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
We want to know about the relevant Welsh team, like Swansea, Wolf of Bunny and all that. We're on about them. Also
Richard says Leicester finished 14th in 2015 and won the league the following year. So it's quite amazing that year. Anything can happen, sort of thing. But yeah, Harvey, you were about to say something. Sorry.
Well, Romano put a top 11 players that are likely to leave their club this summer, and he didn't put Partey in, but he did put Aouar in. And we obviously know Arsenal are in for Aouar, so that could be the potential one instead of Partey. Would you take that, or?
Definitely.
Oh, definitely, but also definitely. But at the same time, or have AR or the classic bloody name. I think as soon as he signs, I'll learn it off by like that. But until then, I'm going to struggle saying his name. But basically, it'd be great to have him because again, he adds something that we haven't got in our midfield: creativity, this, that, and the other. And because he's still young, we can have him for a few years. He's not like he's got a couple of years and he's gone retire or something like that. He's got a good few years ahead of him as well.
Yeah.
And he can develop into a better player than what we would be potentially signing him if we do sign him. But again, I'd want us to go out and get a DM, and if it's Partey or that's a DM that would improve us and protect that back four, because we could have Van Dijk. We've seen that Van Dijk's like at Liverpool. We could have Van Dijk in our defence, and he'd look a complete opposite to what he does at Liverpool. Because at Liverpool, for all the praise he gets, it's a midfield. We've
got a new signing though. We've got a new signing in defensive midfield. It's called El Neni.
Like a new signing.
Come back from the dead.
Against MK Dons and Liverpool. To be fair though to El Neni, I know it's pre-season. He's able to come back to. He's a bit of a point and all that. But that's the thing. He wants to prove a point. Is he going to do a Chambers and, in the sense of continue that form into the actual season itself, or is he going to just do? It's just going to be like a flash of the pan and fall off again?
I think it gave Arteta a bit more to think about, But of course, I think we're still going for Partey and this OR, and if we land one of them, we'll be. I think we'll be all right with just one of them. We don't need both really, but if we get both, that'd be great. But I don't think we'll get both though. I think we'll just get one of them.
If we get both, I don't care what anyone says. Is it top four be in our hands in my mind?
We've certainly got a strong enough squad for it. Definitely.
That's what I mean. Because if we have a strong enough squad, we'd have a spine, and a strong enough spine, you'd think, to compete for that top four, like third, fourth spot. Whereas obviously we're teetering, we're flirting with it at the moment. We've got the players, but not enough. If it makes sense. But Reece, what was your first, second, third, and fourth?
You're probably going to think I'm sniffing glue on this here.
Oh god!
You know what? I've actually got Chelsea to win the league next season.
Okay.
I'm only going to say that because for me, I said if Kai Havertz comes into Chelsea, he's going to tear up the team. A bit like how Fernandes did for United. Definitely he ain't going to score all the penalties, but I think it'll be a massive battle between Chelsea and Liverpool, who I've got second. We haven't got any new signings in, but I think if we go into the season with our mentality as we did last season, we didn't really buy anyone last season either, and we showed we can do it without new signings. So that's my top two. I then got City.
Okay.
I reckon City will be quite close behind either first or second, either Liverpool, Chelsea, and then I've got United, who I think will be going for that 4th, 5th position. I reckon they'll be fighting between Arsenal for that Champions League position. But like I said, I think Chelsea are building a good team, and if they get that keeper, I think they'll be a very unstoppable force, and I'll be quite worried to play them in the next coming seasons.
Okay.
They are forced to reckon with now.
And they've got Frank Lampard. He's great with the youth as well.
That's my thing with Lampard, and that's why someone else in the chat is saying he could be the first to be sacked because now they're signing world-class players like Kai Havertz, Werner, and players like that. The pressure's now even on him even more because he's now coaching something he's never the sort of caliber of players he's never coached before in the 2 years previous. World-class players are going to have an ego. I know he's played as one of them world-class players at Chelsea when he was a player, but it's the difference between playing with these egos and coaching them and managing them week in, week out and getting the performance in. If he can do it, fantastic. Hats off to him, great. For Chelsea, but there's for me at the back of my mind at the moment until I start seeing until obviously they get the first few games in, because it was also we've got to remember second game of the season, their first home game is against you guys, and that could be really telling for their season because if you turn up there with their players and you batter them, so to speak, suddenly the confidence is knocked, And you don't know how they'll recover. And then again, it's because it's the egos are there. They're like, well, we've come here to compete, and we just got battered by the best team in Liverpool. This the current champions that battered, humiliated on our first game at home, and all that. The other, how's he going to manage that sort of situation with these big players now? It's just them little things.
Yeah.
But it's also the defence as well. As Richard says in the chat. Sorry, let's get it up now. Chelsea won't finish top 4 because they can't defend. That's the thing. They've spent a lot of money in attack. It's pretty similar, to when the years of Arsenal when we were just going, we needed defence sorted or midfield sorted, but we just buy attackers for the fun of it. It was like we don't need a defence. We're trying to outscore you, this, that, and the other.
I mean, they brought Chilwell, but I don't.
Chilwell's not
be enough.
Yeah, they brought Chilwell.
Enough.
Yeah, they brought Chilwell in at left back, and obviously Thiago Silva for a year. But again, they alone aren't going to be enough. Thiago Silva's never played Premier League. This is a faster, more demanding league than what League One is. And Chilwell's an international. He's proven in the Premier League, but it's not enough to fix the entire defence. And you've got a goalkeeper at the moment that's not good enough.
Yeah,
he's making David De Gea look good, and that's saying something. If they don't address their defence and add more to the defence like we've done, that's another thing why I can't see them winning the league. But I get what you're saying in the sense of the attacking side of it, the signings they've made attacking side. But yeah, that's what
I hope they can help the other teams.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I say currently I think they'll be in my top 4 because the attacking side of things. But yeah, Sam, my Harvey's gone. We'll go to you, Sam, next.
Yeah, so basically I've got in my prediction, and this is based on, I was basing it on Chelsea getting Havertz and having a very strong squad, and basically, Manchester City maybe getting 1 or 2 more players in. Basing it on us getting either OR or Partey, or maybe both, but just one of them. And, things sort of gelling a bit for us now as things look like they are starting to do. So for me, the way I've done it is I think we're going to see. We could see like a 3-horse race for the title this season, where I'm thinking that what we're going to end up with is I think Manchester City might just win it because I think they're going to come back stronger this season. They're going to add to their squad. Guardiola's not going to let them get away with half measures. I think they're going to be much more motivated to win again this season after what's been a disappointing season for them. And I think they're going to want to prove that they're best again. And them at their best, if they get firing on all cylinders again, they're an extremely, extremely tough team to beat over 38 games. Then for me, I think Chelsea will slide into second if their players start to gel well. Doesn't take too long for them to start playing well together. If they struggle to play well together, they're gonna fall further down the table. But if they start clicking and they start working well together, I mean, you just got to look at Pulisic and Havertz. Imagine what those two got. I mean, they're going to tear holes through any defense. You got Pulisic, you got Havertz, then you got Ziyech, and then you got Werner with his finishing. It's just frightening. It really is frightening if they do well together. And so if they perform, they get running a bit. I think they could get second place. I really do, based on their players. And I agree their defense is maybe a bit weak, but if you're outscoring your opponents, you can basically just outscore whoever you're playing against, because you can go and score as much as you want basically with those players. It becomes a different prospect, like Manchester City basically have been doing. Manchester City also had a terrible goal against ratio, goal against record last season. I mean, they were one of the worst in the league, but they still scored so many goals. They scored the most So, they still managed to get second, didn't they, based on that? So, if scoring goals if you can score goals, you can still get away with it. But, yeah, it's tough to win a title. That's what I'm saying. They won't win a title without a good defence, because it's that old saying. I mean, you can win games, but you can't win a title without a defence. That's true. But they'll still win enough, I think, to get into second. That means Liverpool slide down to third. It'll be, like I said, it'll be close. I think it'll go down to the last few games, maybe if not the last game, to decide those positions. Why Liverpool going to third? Because I just think it's going to be a bit of a honeymoon thing after this last season. I think your squad's a bit weak. You've got a great first 11, but after your first 11, you're a bit weak. And without players there to come in, I mean, if you guys get a few injuries or, you guys have been lucky with injuries and everything, but if all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 injuries at the same time, you guys are going to be struggling.
Yeah, we don't have that as massive.
The squad depth is just not there for Liverpool, and it's something I think it's a bit strange they're not addressing. I mean, they obviously must have maybe something to do with wanting to save money or whatever. I don't know, but they don't have squad depth they should if they really want to push for a title challenge as they've been doing recently. And also, I thought their form dipped off as well. I think your form dipped off during the lockdown, and there could be several reasons for that, of course, but the form dropped, and also I don't think that the front three were firing as well as they used to together. I thought Salah was not looking as good as he used to. Salah looked a bit less motivated. So we'll see. It could be Liverpool this season not firing on all cylinders. So that's why they're not going to win the league. And then the final Champions League spot then, I think it's going to be Arsenal. I think we're going to have a much better season this season. I think our squad's going to be a lot better. I think Arteta's going to get the maximum he can out of this squad. The players are going to be motivated. You can see the players are gelling better now. They're much more happy. So I think we, over the course of 38 games, I think we can beat our rivals, Manchester United and Tottenham, who I think are our closest rivals really for that Champions League spot. I think we can do better than them over 38 games. I really do. I think we'll have a better squad than them if we end up getting the players we want. And if that's either OR or Partey. If we get OR and we don't get Partey, that's fine for me, because OR is still a really good player. He's going to add a lot to our midfield that we need. So I'm fine with that if we don't get Partey. If we do get Partey, then that's great, because he gives us that defensive dimension in midfield that we've been lacking as well. So that would really boost our team if we got him. But at the end of the day, if we don't get him and we get OR, I'm fine with that. So we'll see. But I think this season, I think Arsenal can get fourth, and that's my prediction.
Okay, I'll finish off on my top four. Then I think I've gone for Liverpool in first, City in second. I think City will come back stronger. Obviously, try and get revenge for this season, for what's been a poor season for them.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I'm going as it is now. But if Liverpool don't make any key signings, and they let go, because as Reece alluded to earlier, obviously Liverpool made no signings really this summer. They did it last year; it worked. But I think doing it 2 years on the trot and then losing a key player in Wijnaldum as well could sway it another way. So I'm going to stick to it and say Liverpool just hold out for first. Could be a lot closer than what people thought I saw last year and think it'll be this year. City will be second, just by the skin of their teeth, by about 5 points. I think 5 point difference. Arsenal, I think, will be third, and Chelsea fourth. But again, as I said, between second and fourth. Third and fourth, it'll be literally a few points in it. I think it won't be that massive gap in the last 2 years. So yeah, and with that, we've gone through it all.
I think Gini going out there could be possibly leaving. I think if we get that Thiago in from Bayern, I think he's an unreal player. He done well in the Champions League.
He's a good midfielder. Yeah.
I think he would definitely strengthen our squad, but I don't really want to see Wijnaldum leaving. He was a key part in our season, and I think he will be again this season. Like I said, like you were saying, like Liverpool don't have that squad depth as Man City. They could field 2 teams out and still probably batter teams. So I would like to see Klopp strengthen our squad depth. We've got Brewster. He had a pretty good season again for Swansea. But then again, that's not Premier League, so we won't know. But in terms of signings, there isn't really anyone we're targeting. We lost out to Werner to Chelsea. That was a massive loss. I would love to have taken him, but
yeah, I mean, the thing I've been noticing with Liverpool as well. I don't know if you noticed the same, or maybe of course I could be wrong or whatever. But it just doesn't look like. And again, it's probably maybe the fact that you guys were so far ahead in the league that the players didn't really feel like they needed to give a rat's ass.
Yeah, I think.
But it just looked like Salah wasn't really caring, and it just didn't seem like they were firing the front. The front three were not firing together, but it's not just. It wasn't just in the restart, but it seemed to happen a bit before the restart as well. That the form dipped a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I didn't really see it before the COVID. Obviously, I saw it after. I think once the title was like literally declared ours. Obviously they just partied hard. It was obviously well worth of the 30 years, but even before they actually was declared it, they kind of just stepped off the gas, and it was kind of a bit like we were losing or like drawing to teams that we should be comfortably winning. Obviously, when we played Arsenal, we just looked awful. We looked like we were still absolutely pissed. So it's a bit. I would like if I was Klopp, I would have been like, yeah, celebrate, but we've still got a job to do. We've got a season to finish. But.
And this is the thing, I was talking about this a bit earlier today to a friend of mine who was talking about Liverpool and the league and that, and he was talking about Klopp, and remember you look at Klopp, his history at Borussia Dortmund. He had that sort of really good trajectory where took them right up, and then they they just got better and better, and then they won the league. Did really well in the Champions League, etc., etc. But then all of a sudden, after a couple of seasons, he just dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
He just dropped off a cliff, and Klopp was a part of that. And that's one of the things I think the media and people are very, I don't know if they mean to, but I think it's very easy for them to forget that, he was actually part of that too as well when they dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, I think that's.
And then he left. And then he left that season. They got relegated. He left.
Yeah, they wanted to offer him a lifetime contract, but he said, "I won't take it because at some point, everyone's going to turn on me." In terms, he didn't say those exact words, but that's where he's coming from, and it's true. Like if we have if we have a poor season, everyone's going to slate him, get rid of him, bring in someone new. It's going to happen. It happens to all teams. But I'd love him to carry on being successful for a few years. I've heard rumours Gerrard might be taking over. He's trying to get his managerial experience up.
Yes.
It would be good to see him come back, but right now I'm enjoying the ride of winning the league.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, I mean, you guys deserved it. Of course, you absolutely deserved it.
No one's going to really remember the 20 points gap we had or whatever it was, because of COVID. Everyone's just going to remember that. But it's a shame because that was probably one of the best performances I've ever seen in a season. Well, since I've been watching football.
You guys. I mean, before the whole lockdown and everything, you guys was. I mean, but I would say a few weeks before. You guys seemed to drop off a little bit a few weeks before, but yeah, basically that whole. And up until the new year, you guys were absolutely flying. I mean, you guys were just battering teams left and right, and you guys had everything. Everything just fit perfectly, didn't it?
Yeah.
The way you guys played.
Even when we played bad, we still got the result, which just shows how our mentality was in on that season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just a response to a couple of people in the chat. Obviously, Chadwick on the screen there. Vine, I love Arsenal, but third, really. The thing is, I'm like Sam. I'm just basing it off if we do get Oyer or Partey or both, then I think that'll be as I said earlier, that'll be enough to get us third. But if we don't get either of them, obviously I think we'll just scrape fourth by the skin of our teeth if we're lucky. And in response to Brownie, I'm not being delusional, I'm just being optimistic. And also, there's no pressure on Arsenal as well. This is the thing, out of all this club, there's no pressure.
No one expects anything from us anyway.
It's always when you least expect it, something out of the blue happens.
But it's like people are talking about Arsenal. They're going to be rubbish and everything. They're not actually looking at what's happening. And also, it's because when Arteta took over Arsenal, we were one of the better teams in the league. Our record from when Arteta took over to the end of the season, we were one of the better teams in the league. We were playing better football, and you can't deny it. We beat the way we beat Manchester City and Chelsea, and that to get to win the FA Cup. We actually played well, and we actually did well in those games. And to just all chalk that down to luck or coincidence or whatever, you can't do that. No. Because we were playing better and better. We were playing a set system in a set way with players. We played basically the same team in those games. And it worked, to say that is not something that looks good or looks like it could be, something positive going forward. That for me is delusional. If you look at that and say that's not going to work at all, that is delusional. Then you're just denying the facts in front of you and just being an Arsenal hater, which unfortunately we know there's a few people around us who just hate Arsenal for the sake of hating Arsenal, don't they? They can never actually make a decent, coherent argument. They just make shit up. So yeah.
Let's not forget, as we keep touching on every season now, Leicester won the league in 15-16 when no one expected them to. Out of nowhere, a year before they had just survived. They put a run together, survived, and in the following season, out of nowhere, when no one expected them to do anything but from fight for survival again, they start a season over 38 games and they won the league. Not just won it, they won it by 10 clear points of second.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, and that's my point. Anything can happen. When you least expect something to happen, it always happens. And no, there's no pressure on us. And then Brownie's obviously come back with the argument of athletic.
Yeah, well, again, it makes no sense. How does that argument make any sense? Of course, he's just trolling. He's always trolling. It's all he ever does. But how does that even make sense? Third, and they got parties. What? So there's no one else on the team then? I mean, he's the only player they got. I mean. Yeah.
I based Party off how he played against Liverpool. And that game, he was absolutely amazing. He would not let them pass all game. And people look at him from La Liga, he's good there. But if you look at him, how he played against Liverpool, he was unstoppable. You couldn't get past him. So that's why if Arsenal get him this season, I think that's really good business for Arsenal. Amazing.
Also, but at the end of the day, it's not. What'd you say, Harvey? Also, what'd you say?
Eddie Nketiah's just got a hat trick for the England.
Yeah, I saw that. You got a hat trick for the under 21s, yeah. He's got the most goals now, together with Francis Jeffers for the under 21s. Yeah, most goals record for under 21s. Francis Jeffers. I don't know if that's a good omen. Francis Jeffers.
Oh dear.
The fox in the box. Remember?
Yeah.
The fox in the box we got from Everton.
The new Ian Wright. They're labelled new Ian Wright. Fox in the box. Yeah.
Yeah. Mind you, it was another prospect, wasn't he? He just couldn't get in there. Just didn't deliver, did he? Unlucky. Just fell apart.
Yeah. I think also with Francis Jeffers, he came to us at a time when we had Henry, Wiltord, Bergkamp, Kanu, all
Jeremy Lynch.
Don't forget the 12-year-old prospect in Jeremy Lynch, of course.
Brilliant.
Oh dear. Cheddar's in the chat saying Partey dicked us, but obviously alluding to what you said, Harvey, about them playing against Liverpool. And again, I've watched it. I had the opportunity to watch him live a couple of years back in the semi-finals of the league, and he's phenomenal. And at the time, he was floating between playing right back and CDM. But And then that game he played both positions at one point. But he was absolutely phenomenal. It's something we need. The athleticism alone, we lack in our midfield. And we need that security. And he provides security. And I'm sorry, people are not going to like it. And I might lose a sub for this again. Like I've had done for the last 24 hours apparently for saying this. But when it comes to Arsenal, we are finally, after years and years and years of saying we need to sort out this in the team, that in the team. We don't address it. We actually just go do what Chelsea are doing this summer and just go attack. We're actually going, no, these are the areas that need addressing. When we're addressing them, we need a new backline.
Yeah.
We brought in Saliba last year, didn't matter, but it's now back properly for us now. Gabriel, these are unknown, as Andrew touched on earlier, these are unknown quantities. Tierney came to Premier League last season, and after he got over his last injury, he's been phenomenal for us.
Yeah, he had a good season at the end of it.
Yeah, and we've got Arsenal got the luxury of having two quality goalkeepers at their disposal. It's a massive headache for Arteta. And again, Emery, these are the same players. Arteta had to work with basically the whole time he was there, apart from the odd game here and there, with the same players that he inherited. And yeah, we finished safe, but we finished the season on a high, so to speak, with silverware behind us, which we weren't under Emery. We had no chance of getting. We were getting knocked out by Liverpool's. Our B team was getting knocked out by Liverpool's kids team in the Carling Cup, or the League Cup, what you want to call it. No disrespect, but you know what I'm saying.
That game was terrible. That game was terrible. Bloody hell.
That was when we was in the full team was in the World Cup, wasn't it? World Cup.
You're just about a week or so back going into it, yeah. So you had to rest the players for the jet lag and all that.
Yeah.
And then
you guys played a very young team and they still beat our team. Well, our team we had a few youngsters, but we had a few decent players out there too.
Yeah, and that to be honest, looking back, that game just reminded me of the 4-4 game years ago with Varshavin.
Imagine scoring 4 goals
and drawing,
and you still don't fucking win. Honestly, I mean, Jesus Christ.
God never saw the chance. To be honest with you, the team we had then. But yeah, we're addressing. I keep saying, I keep rubbing down. We are addressing areas and look at the potential. Yeah, again, I'll keep saying potential signings in Partey and Neuer. Get one of them, as me and Sam have said it tonight in other shows, and Rich has said, get one of them.
Yeah.
It strengthens us. It gives us something we haven't got. For once, we're actually making common signings that make common sense, not making stupid brain dead signings for the sake of it, just for it's a big name, we'll bring them in. I might be wrong. We might bottle it and not do anything, but you never know. And come on.
I feel fairly confident we're going to get one of them. I mean, I don't think we'll get both. I think that's going to be too much of a stretch. But I think by the way things are looking, you see the reports, what they're talking about. It seems like we're in for both of them, but I don't think we'll get both. We'll end up with one of them, I reckon.
Yeah. Just before he's wrapping things up, obviously the big news today of Lionel Messi. What are your guys' thoughts on all that debacle? I have always said it's just playing. It did seem to be playing politics and trying to force the owner out, not the owner, the president out a few months earlier than what he was going to be kicked out anyway, just so he can get his best mate coming back to be his head coach and all that. But we'll go to you, Reece, first.
I think the whole thing was just stupid, if I'm honest. Again, it was to just try and save his best mate's career. But I think Suarez has agreed terms to Juventus now. Might be best friends with Ronaldo now. That might make Messi jealous. I don't know. I think he did want to get the president out, and it seems like Messi's running the whole club, and if he did take him to court, I think he would have ruined his legacy with Barcelona, which would have been a shame because he is a hero for Barcelona. Let's be honest. He's done phenomenal things for him, been completely loyal, and the way he's just running the show, saying that he wants to leave, now he's saying he wants to stay. I think it's just a bit of child play. I think I don't think the fans are going to respect him as much as they did before this whole thing happened.
Yeah. I think it made him look a bit like a tit, really, didn't it, Messi, at the end?
It has.
Yeah.
Especially after he said, "Oh yeah, no, I'll stay now." Right, okay.
And they're a sinking ship now. I mean, even more players have gone out the window. Vidal's on his way out. Suarez on his way out. Rakitic has already gone to Sevilla. There's another player I read was on his way out. I can't remember who it was now. Arthur. Yeah, Arthur is on his way, isn't he?
Yeah.
Basically gone.
PK's been linked with a move to Fulham, of all places.
Wow.
So
that'd be a great buy. Great buy if Fulham pulled out of.
But they would never let him go anyway. I mean, it's the biggest commodity in world football, basically. Definitely the biggest commodity Barcelona has. There's no way they would have let him go for free. Absolutely no way. That whole free release clause crap is just bollocks. There's no way they would have let that happen by mutual consent. No way.
No, I don't.
Mr. Messi. Oh, you're worth hundreds of millions. Oh yeah, we're going to let you go now as an honourable gentleman's agreement. Fuck off. We're not going to let him go and miss out on hundreds of millions, especially when they need it. I mean, Barcelona are in a mess financially. I mean, if they would had to get rid of Messi, they get a few hundred, getting a few hundred million for him from Manchester City, and then rebuild a brand new squad. There's no way they would let him go for free. That would make no sense whatsoever.
I've got to admit though, if City pulled it off, I think it would have been interesting to see how he would have done in the Prem.
I would love to see Messi in the Prem.
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Love to see Messi in the Prem. It's just not going to happen, is it? He's 33 years old. He's not going to go to the Prem. He's going to stay in Barcelona, and probably when he's 35, 36, he'll go on some fancy contract or somewhere to America or China or something like that, probably.
Harvey, what about you? Got any thoughts on today's news?
Didn't come as a surprise, really. I heard that the 700 million release clause was still there, so no one's stupid enough to do that for us.
When La Liga basically ratified that and said yes, that is a valid release clause that has to be adhered to, then that was it. That was basically the end of it for everyone. I mean, who's going to pay 700 million? I mean, even Manchester City, they're going to be like, how are we going to do that one? We pay 100 million over 7 installments?
Think about that. We'd think about that. We'd pay 100 million in 7 installments, 100 million a year, and that's something Man United would do.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's not leaving, because he made himself look like a tit. The Barca fans are going to look at him every time he scores. I think they're going to boo. Let's face it, he's not what he used to be. He thinks he's this big I am. He thinks he's the better player out of the whole team. He didn't perform that night. He wasn't good that night.
No, he didn't bother. He literally did. We did the watch on there. He was literally he lost the ball and walked away from it. He didn't even go get the ball back. He just walked away.
Yeah. He's allowed to do what he wants. That's the thing, isn't it? He's got that status at the club. He can just do what he wants.
Yeah. But imagine all this kickoff over Koeman being hired and all that by this current president and all that, in the circumstances. Imagine Koeman actually starts the season well, and by the time the extras come along, obviously this president gets taken out. But then the guy coming in, if let's say that happens, and Barcelona are like 5-6 points ahead in top of the league or whatever, and doing well in the Champions League under Koeman, Messi's going to look like even bigger tit, because he's the one complaining. Yeah. He's not good enough. I want my best friend Xavi, and this, that, and the other. I want him now.
I feel sorry for Koeman, really do, because he's coming to a massive challenge at Barcelona. He's got to do a full squad rebuild. Got Messi there acting like a baby.
Yeah. Messi's just noise, isn't he? He's just noise.
Again, Koeman's played for Barcelona. Koeman has won the first ever Champions League Barcelona ever won. So show the guys from
Koeman was a great player. He was a brilliant player for Barcelona. He was really good.
And will we see Koeman bench Messi in the start of the season, though? That would be interesting.
I'll go further than that. Will Messi still have the captaincy by then? After all this,
I'll drop him from captaincy if I'm honest.
But also, as I say,
they won't have the guts to, though. They won't have the guts.
No,
of course
no,
not.
of course not. But that's what I'd personally do. I'd go against him and go, fuck it. He's been an absolute twat, made us all look like absolute knobheads for the last 2 weeks just to stay put. And then also bring his. When I told my family, they all had a cry and didn't want me to go, and the kids expected me not to go. But he still made it public knowledge, and then he saw that the guys refused to do COVID testing in amongst all this. Fair enough, you don't want to do training, whatever, but to go and get a test and make sure you not, because amongst this time, all this he could contract the virus without knowing, and he's passed it on to his kids, and this, that, and his wife, this, that, and the other. All that for the sake of going to Man City on a free for more money.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, and it's going to make himself like a bigger. I'd love it if Koeman does what Messi doesn't want him to do now, and that's it. And actually brings in some potentially good players, gets a squad together, and they go out and either come the presidential elections in March come along, be top of the league, doing well in the Champions League. Because everyone's easy to remember when they took over at Holland were in a similar situation. They weren't really competitive. There was an Asian squad. And in the space of a year and a half of him being there, about a year and a half, 2 years, he had straight from the off a young, vibrant squad that wanted to play for him. They respected him, and they were getting performances they weren't meant to be getting. Suddenly, they're competing against the best, the former world champions now in Germany, who were doing their own thing as well, and battering them and things like that. I know it's the Nations League and it's only just been brought up, but getting to a final of that and mugging us off and mugging off Southgate in the process even more. But all the work he's done there, and people, it's like Messi and all that don't take notice of that. Oh, but that's Holland. I'll say Holland's a harder job in the circumstances that he walked into, what he did here. And I think he's got a fantastic chance here, being a Barcelona legend himself, of doing something great here. Just give him the bloody chance before you start judging. Yeah. He's getting rid of Suarez. I'm out of here. Go away. It's like with Arteta when Arteta's come in, and we saw that Ian Wright thing. He wants players that are committed, that don't need to convince him to stay, don't need to convince him to sign, that buy into the project. And Messi, straight from the off, went, no, I don't want to buy into the project. Well, fuck off then. I wouldn't just bench him. I'll put him in the reserves. But as you said, they don't have the balls to do that. And it is what it is. Because
he's got too much power in him and his agents and his father and all that. And
Tyrone saying Dembele, Griezmann, and Coutinho would shine about Messi, and again that's the case because Messi, as we keep touching on, Messi runs the club. I mean, Dembele was in the money they spent on Dembele, and within a few months, Messi doesn't like how he's playing or training or whatever. Oh, get him out! It's a common thing. Messi does run the club. Taking Koeman out of the equation here, in terms of management. Since apart from Luis Enrique and Pep Guardiola, all the head coaches they've hired have been people that you don't even hear of. At one point, they hired a manager from Argentina just because he knew Messi, that he coached him from one of his youth kids when he's come up through the ranks in Argentina, based on that for a couple of years. It's ridiculous. Russ Morgan, he says Barca won't get anywhere until they start thinking beyond Messi.
I agree.
The players that are playing like Coutinho, Dembele, and Griezmann, they're just in the shadow of Messi. And when you're in the shadow of Messi as his big name, you're not gonna be out there anymore. Have you noticed they was amazing players at Dortmund, at Atletico, at Liverpool, but as soon as they all went to Barcelona, they've just gone quiet. Just gone all quiet.
Everything has to go. Everything has to go through Messi, doesn't it? That's the thing. Every attack, he has to have the ball, doesn't he? So.
I think Coutinho will do quite well next season. He had a pretty good season again for Bayern.
He certainly came on and did the business, didn't he, in the Champions League
against Barcelona?
He does it all the time. He does it all the time. He did it against United as well. You know what I mean? And they don't give him enough chances. He is a good player.
But to come on against the club, that your parent club that had no faith in you, against the player that's outed you from day one, and come on, get 2 assists and a goal within like 5 or 10 minutes of being on the pitch. You don't get better than that. Just above salt in the wound, that was.
We've got a guest appearance now.
Oh, God.
We've got a guest appearance.
She wants to say hello.
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 She's been going on all bloody stream. Can I say hello? I'm like,
Nothing wrong with a cameo.
yeah.
Anyway, I've got to get going now anyway, because,
Yeah, I was going to start wrapping things up anyway. Sam, so where can people find you?
Yeah, I've got Sam Greenwood TV. I do Arsenal late night chats, a bit light-hearted stuff, as well as some quizzes now and again. So if you can check it out, subscribe, it'd be great. I'll be having a interview soon with this crazy nut in the chat called Football with Brownie, who's a Cardiff supporter and Arsenal hater. And we're going to have an interesting interview about his history with Cardiff, his supporting history, with some colourful stories as well. And he was involved behind the scenes with some of the transfers as well, with the club as well, with the management and that, and including the Ramsey transfer to Arsenal. So it'd be interesting to hear some of the details that went on there, as well as other things. So that'd be a good laugh. I'll put that on Twitter when we've got that arranged. That'd be good fun. Looking forward to that. And apart from that, thanks for having me again, as usual, and hope everyone has a good night.
Yeah. And Reece, where can people find you as well?
So yeah, I run a Facebook page, Football Fan Zone, with my brother and another admin, Donovan. We're posting pretty much everything football related, any leagues. We've started introducing women's league now. Finding that women's are getting quite paid more, same as men. So we should be posting more on that. We've got looking for someone who has more knowledge in that factor. Once we do, we're just trying to build our brand. We will be sorting out a YouTube channel as well. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you guys on as well if we do quizzes and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to have you on as a Liverpool fan and get a perspective from yourself and how Liverpool are as well. Harvey, where can people find you?
Thanks for having me on again. It's been actually a good laugh again. It's nice to meet you, Reece, and you can find me on United Daily Transfer News on YouTube. On Twitter, you can find me at Harvey UDTN News. Thanks again for having me on, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. And again, guys, you can find me on here, obviously, at the Mr. Arsenal podcast on here on YouTube, and on my Facebook page, the Mr. Arsenal podcast as well for that. And also I'm linked with Reece with the Football Fan Zone, so that's just currently streaming off that as well on the page. And at Mr. Arsenal 89 is my Twitter handle. And yeah, as I keep on saying, on the road to 500, we have dropped in the last 24 hours to 406 from 411, but we're going to try to keep going for it, keep going for the 500, as I said. By 12:29 on the 12th of this month, Arsenal kick off against Fulham. If we're at 500, I'll do a raffle of a prize for one lucky person out of the first 500 people that subscribe. And basically I'll be back tomorrow now for the 9th. No, it's right now. This is the 9th. Tomorrow's will be the 9th show in 9 days. So I'm going to keep going, keep grinding. So I hope I'll get some reward from it, but in the long run. But yeah, England being a bit of a different one. Another watch along Iceland versus England in Iceland. Ainsley, I'm calling it Ainsley watch. See if he plays as an Arsenal fan. Obviously, if Sam, Harvey, or Reece, if you're available, it'd be great to have you back on for that. And then Sunday, the 10th Who Am I quiz. And the guests have now been confirmed today. I've got lead judges coming on, Tom from Laguna Talk, myself, Mike, the quizmaster, the current champion, the walkaway champion last week, Richard. And I'll double check just to make sure there's someone else. I'm just going to wrap it off. So yeah. So what I've said is that it is myself, Richard, Lee, judges, Tom, Mike, and Mike from the Gooners podcast from all over in the States. And yeah, that'd be a great show itself. And until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. See you tomorrow. And as always, up the Arsenal.
See you
Adios.
later.
Yum, yum.